All right. The big news here, it is coming from New York, in this area anyway. The New York Giants, in their pursuit of a playoff berth, taking a huge hit potentially with what looks like the loss of Jason Pierre-Paul for the remainder of the regular season, according to reports. And we saw him hobble off the field with the groin injury in the Pittsburgh loss. Now it turns out to be a sports hernia.
Yeah, and it was so interesting because we were talking about him a lot going into that game because he's been so strong defensively over the last couple of games before that Steelers game. 5.5 sacks in the 2 games before playing Pittsburgh, 7 sacks total on the season, and just his presence. That pass rush needs him there, and they're really going to miss him for these last couple of games here. And when you look at the schedule, it's tough to see how they're going to survive and make it into the playoffs without that presence, without JPP.
They better worry about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and maybe this is the opening for Dirk Cutter, Jameis Winston, and the Buccaneers right now in that second spot in the wild card race. Certainly for your Redskins, it opens the door once again for them to get back in and maybe make a run. And not to say that the Giants can't win without Jason Pierre-Paul, of course.
Right.
But he has been so outstanding in the last few weeks here, and we've been talking about Landon Collins as well. Their defense has really done a nice job of keeping them in games, winning games, because we saw, like in the Pittsburgh game, the offense just hasn't been able to do it.
Right. Well, it's funny you mentioned Landon Collins because he was named the Defensive Player of the Month for November. He is the first safety with 30-plus tackles, 3+ interceptions, and more than 1 sack in a calendar month since Brian Dawkins in 2006. So it's not like, I mean, I understand their pass rush really takes a hit, but the fact that they have such an outstanding safety back there is a good safety net for them to at least be able to fall back on.
So yeah, that is starting 5, topic number 1. Let's show you real quick here the JPP Instagram photo that he posted here. Now this was, I believe, a photo not necessarily of him going into surgery, but he commented about how he is going into surgery, and this coming off the heels of a trip that he had down to Philadelphia with a noted sports hernia specialist who then figured out that this was not just a regular groin injury.
And he is absolutely no stranger to hospital rooms over the past couple years, unfortunately, when he had that July 4th incident with his hand. So he's very familiar with the routine of going in and having an operation done and coming out and rehabbing, obviously, with his upper body. It'll be interesting to see how his lower body progresses and he's able to come back from this. If there's a chance they make it into the playoffs, maybe later on in the playoffs he could come back. I'm not 100% sure exactly how sports hernias work, but I know that regular season seems to be that he won't be able to play for this team.
So reports differing. About 6 weeks that he might be out. Looks like he's out for the remainder of the regular season, and then it depends on how deep the Giants can make a run into the postseason if they get in to the postseason. And that will determine whether or not JPP can come back this season for the G-Men. So that's starting 5 topic number